Lagos, the nation's commercial capital. This is the news at 10, live from Channels Television. Reporting tonight, Bimbo Oloide.
Hello and welcome. Tonight, Supreme Court upholds election of Governor Chubuike Amechi as River State Governor, putting to rest all legal agitations. PDP and ACP trade words over alleged plot to visit violence on parts of the country ahead of 2015 general elections. Inspector General of Police says policemen to handle the next general election are already being trained in Pakistan, Israel and India. And demonstrators in Bosnia-Herzegovina set fire on government buildings as violent protests spread across the country.
Tonight, CBN tightens rules for currency dealers. Request full payments 48 hours before bidding.
Sports news, Manchester City manager Manuel Pellegrino wins Barclays Manager of the Month award for the second successive month.
Well, it may be 12 months away from the presidential elections, but the major political parties are already trading words over the forthcoming elections. The People's Democratic Party, PDP, says it has uncovered a plot by the All Progressive Congress, APC, to set the stage to reject the results of the 2015 general elections. Speaking at the party's headquarters in Abuja, the National Publicity Secretary alleged that the APC is using its ongoing party registration as a means to hype and give a false impression of massive public followership.
We wish to alert Nigerians, therefore, to the evidence at our disposal to the effect that APC is sadly and currently using every foul means at its disposal to build a particular membership figure, running to tens of millions, which intends to use as a justification to fault, dispute, reject, and subsequently take to violence when it loses in 2015. It is our strong belief that the APC wishes to announce a figure of 29 million registered voters in Nigeria. Subsequently, after the elections, when maybe they will not have up to half of it, or 14 million or 12 million voters, as usual, they will declare the election rigged, illegal. This is why the APC and its officials have embarked on attempts to falsify figures. First, the APC officials and members have been going around the wards and polling unit centers using INEC polling locations and materials, and in most cases lying to people that the exercise is being embarked on by INEC or by the federal government. Unsuspecting Nigerians who think that it is census or INEC or any federal government registered vote exercise are currently being hoodwinked into registering as members of the APC. We reliably gathered also that in states controlled by the APC, especially in the southwest, pupils and students in schools are lured or persuaded to get the passport photographs of their parents and guardians and fill in forms of their names, which are thereafter secretly affixed to the APC membership forms without the knowledge of the innocent students or their unsuspecting parents.
In the meantime, the APC is not taking the PDP's allegations lying low. The Publicity Secretary of the APC, Alhaji Lai Mohammed, says if winning an election is a crime, then the party prefers to be guilty.
See that we want to win elections. And if only one winner, only one victor. If planning to win election is a crime, then we play guilty. Because we plan to to win, and we shall win by the grace of God. But exactly about a year ago, on February 5, the first meeting of Niger took place. This is the same way they mocked us and said it will never work. And every day we were in the glare of the public. All our discussions, all our debates, all our steps. It took almost 6 months for the merger to be approved. We started the building blocks of this party almost immediately. We've been fortunate that the inclusion in the PDP again helped the party to become a phenomenon. Today what we are witnessing is a movement, a mass movement, not just a political party.
Well, the Supreme Court has dismissed a suit filed by Mr. Celestine Omehia seeking to join in a suit to determine whether the first tenure of Governor Rotimi Amechi ended on May the 29th, 2011 or in October. Delivering judgment on the suit, a 5-man panel of the Apex Court held that Mr. Omehia had exhausted all avenues to challenge the election of Mr. Rotimi Amechi as Governor of Rivers State and cannot approach the Apex Court through the back door. Mr. Omehia, a candidate of the People's Democratic Party, PDP, in Rivers State, had sought to cash in on the judgment of a federal high court which held that Governor Rotimi Amechi's first tenure ended on May the 29th, 2011.
Mr. Cyprian Chukwu, a chieftain of the People's Democratic Party, had in 2010 appealed to a federal high court in Abuja asking it to interpret the Supreme Court judgment which in 2007 removed Omehia from office and declared Amechi as the governor of the state. The court, presided over by Justice Abdul Kafarati, ruled that Governor Amechi's first tenure ended on May 29, 2011. After the High Court's decision, Omehia, who was not a party to the High Court proceedings, applied to the Court of Appeal to be allowed to join in the matter as an interested party, contending that he was a party in the Apex Court judgment that was interpreted by the High Court. Both Amechi and Chukwu, however, told the Supreme Court panel headed by Justice Muntaka Kumaise that the Abuja Division of the Appeal Court erred in law when it granted Omehia the leave to appeal against the High Court judgment, even though he was not a party in the substantive seat that culminated to the appeal. Lawyer to Governor Amechi reacts to the judgment of the court.
Well, the oracle has spoken. Now Rivers State can have some peace from pretenders and imposters. That is our reaction. This was our unnecessary suit trying to bring tension and pressure in Rivers State. Now the Supreme Court has spoken. We'll go back to the Court of Appeal and do what we have to do.
The verdict of the court, however, did not go down well with the lawyer to Mr. Omehia.
The judgment is rightly decided in the sense that their judgment was logical. It's just that they didn't decide what was submitted to them.
A 5-man panel of the Apex Court had on November 11, 2013 fixed February 7 for judgment after parties adopted their briefs of arguments in the consolidated appeals that were filed by Governor Amechi and a chieftain of People's Democratic Party, Rivers State, Chief Cyprian Chukwu.
Well, about 4 years after the suit challenging the tenure of Governor Rotimi Amechi was filed, the Supreme Court has ruled that Mr. Celestine Omehia had no business joining the suit. In this next report, our judiciary correspondent, Shola Shoyele, takes a look at the ding-dong between Governor Amechi and his predecessor, Mr. Celestine Omehia.
The road to this judgment dates back to October 2007 when the Supreme Court sacked the then Governor Celestine Omehia and paved the way for Amechi to emerge governor 5 months into the tenure of Omehia.
We share
wants me to the court. God wants me to be the governor of the continuation.
This current legal battle between both men began in 2010 when a PDP member, Cyprian Chukwu, challenged INEC's timetable for the 2011 general elections. Chukwu asked the court to determine whether governorship elections should be held in Rivers State during the general elections of April 2011, since Governor Amechi took the oath of office in October 2007 and not May 29 when all other governors took the oath.
And I will protect and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria and defend the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So help me God. So help me God.
It was this suit that Omehe joined as an interested party. With the verdict, the Apex Court has now clearly stated that Omehe has exhausted all avenues to challenge the election of Governor Rotimi Amechi. This may be said to be a second victory in a week for the pro-Amechi camp. The first being the redeployment of the former Rivers State Commissioner of Police, Joseph Mbu. Shala Shirley, Channels Television News.